Hello, Trudy Brookman again of Trudy Brookman Attorneys. This is the second video in a series of three, assisting you with the information that you need to bring a claim based on fluoroquinolone associated disability. So in this video, I want to discuss how the process unfolds and how experts will assist us to quantify, in other words, provide us with a rand figure, a money figure, to decide the amount that we are going to be claiming for each person. So based on the information that we have already, the stories of the 13 or so affected people who have contacted us or been referred to us, it sounds as though most of you would need evaluation by a selection of the following specialists: a pain specialist, a neurologist for damage to nerves, any part of your nervous system in your body, a psychologist. Many of you have spoken of symptoms like anxiety, disorientation, suicidal thoughts, which were not present before you took the fluoroquinolone medication. And then, of course, orthopedic surgeon for those of you who have had tendons affected, but also muscles and any part of your musculoskeletal system. The purpose of asking you to go and see these specialist doctors who would act as expert witnesses for us as to the extent of the harm that you've suffered as a result of the fluoroquinolones. The purpose is that these experts are able to help us put a rand figure to the nature of the harm that you've suffered. They'll each write a report, long fancy report with a lot of medical jargon, maybe running to 25 pages. The medico-legal reports generally cost between 10 and 15,000 Rand per report. So I'm just telling you about that right up front. That we need that in order to be able to prove to the defendants, and we spoke about the whole supply chain that we're going to be claiming against: pharmaceutical company, prescribing doctor, anyone who administered the medication to you. We need to prove to them the extent of the harm that was caused to you, and these experts are the ones who will be speaking on your behalf in these reports, explaining exactly what the nature, the intensity, the duration, the expected future impact of the fluoroquinolones have been and will be on your life. Okay, I think many of you have experienced a real disillusionment with the medical profession or professions as a result of the horrific results that you've had from the fluoroquinolones, which were supposed to heal you and not harm you, and then often a sense of disbelief, I think, from many medical professionals who are just presumably astounded that medication could have such a dramatic impact on a person's life, quite in an unintended fashion. I appreciate that you need never experience that sense of being disbelieved by a medical professional again. So it's not something you need worry about with regard to these medico-legal reports. The medical experts that we send you to are working for us. We pay them, and they must do their job in the best interests of you as a patient. Obviously, they'll act within their professional ethics, and they're not going to say anything that they can't prove. But at the same time, their job is to do their best for you. We are intending to send them a briefing from an expert, a South African expert in fluoroquinolones and their effects on people who've been affected by FQAD, the fluoroquinolone associated disability, beforehand, so that you will not get the response of "what?" or "really? That's just aging. Are you sure about this?" You will have none of that. you will be believed and taken seriously and honored by the professionals that we are going to be sending you to. I thought I'd just add that in case there was any concern. So in order to evaluate which of the professionals we need to send you to, because the fluoroquinolones have such a wide-ranging impact on people who are affected by FQAD, we have compiled a checklist, and we'll be emailing that to you along with this video. For those of you who are watching the video on a social media channel, please feel free to contact us to ask for the checklist, and we can send that to you along with a questionnaire that you need to complete in order to so that we can evaluate whether you have a proper claim and then start processing your claim based on the information that you have provided us. You can contact us at admin, ADMIN, at Brookman, BROEKMANN.co.za, and you can find that information on our website as well, which is www.brookman.co.za. Okay, so with regard to the checklist of symptoms that I'm going to be sending you, can I ask you to fill it out with a particular mindset? I want you to not think of any of your symptoms as being too minor to reflect on the checklist. If you had it once, please tick it. If it, assuming that it happened after the time, during or after the time that you took the fluoroquinolone medication. We'll evaluate afterwards the severity of the symptom, but if you had the symptoms, please tick it. Okay. So I want to ask you to not minimize your symptoms while you are filling in the checklist. We'll make sure that every part is evaluated properly, but don't leave anything out. We need to make sure that you get proper compensation for every aspect, even if it's a little thing, tingling in the fingertips, and you thought, oh, that's nothing. Please fill it in if it happened to you. Then, whom do we claim from? As I've explained, we're going to be claiming from anyone who prescribed the fluoroquinolones to you, anyone who prescribed cortisone to you at the same time as the fluoroquinolones or just after that, because that really increases your risk of suffering from fluoroquinolone associated disability, FQAD. And then the pharmaceutical company who manufactured, imported, distributed, or retailed the fluoroquinolone antibiotic to you in South Africa. You must remember that when we are suing a doctor or a specialist who prescribed the fluoroquinolones or the cortisone to you, that the effect of that is not that the doctor himself will be placed in financial jeopardy by this huge claim that you're bringing. The medical professionals, just like legal professionals, have insurance to cover us against professional indemnity. It's just the responsible thing to do, so you always have it. So, when one doesn't intend to be negligent, and most doctors certainly don't intend to be negligent or cause harm to their patients, some of them could be a bit more careful, but others are genuinely, have the best intentions. Don't worry that you are ruining your doctor's life. The claim will be primarily against his insurance company, professional liability indemnity insurance, and we essentially fighting against an insurance company which is used to fighting claims like this on a daily basis. So, nothing for you to feel guilty or bad about. It's essential that we also sue the doctors because they are the retailer in terms of our claim under the Consumer Protection Act, and we can't leave anyone in the supply chain out. Otherwise, the others can say, it was the other one, and point a finger there, and then we're left high and dry. Okay, so we need to have the whole lot in there, and we can say, well, between the lot of you, you caused the harm, and you must pay. And then they can fight it out between themselves, who is liable for the largest portion or not. That's not our problem. We just need to show who caused the harm. Okay, the final question. Can you ever win against a gigantic pharmaceutical company which makes millions and millions of rands every year, which is international, which has got a whole lot of, let's say, negotiating power? Won't they drag out the process? Am I not like a little David fighting against a Goliath, and I can never expect to win? Well, I want to draw to your attention that in the USA there have been huge settlements reached in class actions against pharmaceutical companies. Huge penalties have been imposed against them in various countries, and they are not above the law. So yeah, I had a friend of mine, I was discussing the Fluoroquinolone case over dinner, and my friend's husband said to me, the pharmaceutical companies are going to send someone to kill you, Trudy. I'm like, we're acting in the area of facts and reality here. I'm not interested in conspiracy theories. And in fact, I have a person I know who's a financial director of a pharmaceutical company here in Cape Town, and he is a lovely person, and he doesn't send people to kill anyone. So I just want to take all kinds of conspiracy theories and irrational thinking out of the equation. We're going to be focusing on the facts. We're going to be focusing on the law. Nobody is above the law. You need have no concern that it's a big problem to fight against a pharmaceutical company. Yes, they have a lot of money, but that is exactly what we want. Remember, we're claiming huge amounts of money, and it would be a disaster for all of you if we were claiming against a company which didn't have a lot of money in the back pocket. So you need have no concern on days where you're feeling not too courageous. I want to tell you, our firm is not scared of fighting against any giants. We've had amazing successes against Standard Bank. We have a big case against First National Bank at the moment on behalf of a whole lot of individual people. We are happy to fight against big developers and huge companies, international companies. It's not a problem for us at all. So please don't lose any sleep about this aspect. I'm going to be recording a final video, which I will also send to you, in which we're going to be talking about the process and the procedure, as well as the finances. What will it cost you to bring this type of huge claim? That I'm going to be discussing in the next video. So thank you for your time. Please watch that one as well.